been delving into the mysteries that are hidden in plain sight until the mind no longer needs to see by the light of existence. And it's also been suggested, could it be, is it possible that we ourselves are this mystery hidden in plain sight, even from ourselves, until we no longer need to see by the light of existence? But back to the mysteries. There's a story about a king who had many sons, but then one day a daughter was born to his queen, and he was overjoyed and delighted. After her birth, he called to him the soothsayers, the astrologers, to find out what her destiny would be. But to his great horror, he was told that she would die by drowning at a young age, after she had loved and nurtured a husband unto death. So determined to protect her, he kept her secluded so that she did not come before the eyes of men, nor did she see men. Her days were occupied with tutoring and fancy work, but the greatest solace in her life was the garden outside her window. Many, many hours she gazed out of that window at the passing seasons, the dew on the rose petals in the summertime, the icicles on the leaves of the trees, the waving branches. And rarely, very rarely, her father the king would take her walking in the garden so that she was able to come to the little meditation grove there, a little pond, and a sea of rippling sand with smooth stones nestled into it. She gazed out of that window, often imagining the gardener. Who could it be? It must be a kind man, because he tended the garden so well, pruning, weeding, planting. And she felt embraced by the loving care that the gardener gave to the garden. Now, time passed, and the old king had an ailment himself, and he thought to himself that perhaps if he went to the sulphur bath, the spa, that it would help him in his old age. So with his daughter and an entourage, they went to the sulphur baths. Now while they were there, the princess revelled in the warmth, luxuriating as she looked up at the sky. But after some while, the unaccustomed heat made her faint, and before anyone came to her, she drowned. The king was bereft and sad, and he asked, how could it be? His advisers said to him, well, you know, sire, that you were your daughter's only husband. But intuitively, the king knew that this was not so, because after all, he was still alive. But he wanted to keep his daughter's memory alive, to ensure that the garden that she loved so much was kept. And so he went out with his advisers, walking in the garden and looking for the gardener. But he was nowhere to be found. But as they walked amongst the garden beds and came to the meditation grove, they found the gardener's body in the pond. Now, those who knew him said that he had been afflicted by lameness, a misshapen leg that caused him much pain. And it was said that of late the pain and his affliction had been even greater. So he must have slipped and fallen in the pond. But they also said that he tended the garden with great love and felt that while he was working in that garden, that his pain was eased and he found peace and happiness. Now the king sat musing, pondering what could be the mystery behind the story of his beloved daughter. As it is for us, what is the mystery hidden in plain sight when we no longer need to see by the light of mind or the light of existence? What is the mystery in plain sight in this story?